Okay, well, back to the Micra. This is day 2, part 2. I've got most of the parts on order now. I found out what belts they were and got Repco to order them in. This one isn't all that old, but this one's well and truly had it. See how it's all cracked. A lot of the time they start separating, you get pieces of the V separating off once they get too old, so that one's well and truly due for replacement. That matched up as a Nissan Pulsar tensioner as well, so that was easy to find on the computer system at Repco. That didn't come up at all, so I got a new bearing and I'm going to make a high-speed steel tool, grinder tool for the lathe, and just part those little crimps out, and then hopefully I should be able to really smash that bearing out through the other side. It's going to take a bit of work to get it out, but it will come out. Afterwards I can just take a flat nose punch and just peen these edges over in key spots. It doesn't take that much to hold a bearing in. That's sort of over-engineered the way they've done that, and trying to make it so it's not user serviceable. But these bearings are over the counter. That was $9.95. This probably would have cost a lot more. I hate to think what that's going to cost, but that's a pressed metal assembly, and I'd probably have to get it spot welded back together again if I was going to try and reuse it. And even then there's no guarantee of concentricity. So unfortunately that one had to be replaced. That one I'm going to try and remanufacture. If not, well, I've just got to try and find something somewhere, which they couldn't do at Repco, so I don't see why I can't remanufacture this. It's not too big of a deal. Okay, and as you can see, I got a bit carried away and took the top off it. Everything's pretty straightforward in there. The cam lobes work directly on the tops of the valves. There's no rockers or tappets or anything in these double overhead cam engines. There's no need for them anyway, you just got followers. It's like the Jag engine, which just has a follower. Yeah, pretty straightforward. So I'm going to, what am I going to do? I'm going to stick the rocker cover back down actually. I'm going to put some goo on the old gasket, which is still nice and pliable, and glue it back down again. Which, by the way, got a coat of paint last night. Remember what I was saying about red? Well, that's about as red as you're going to get. Can't remember what actual paint I got. It's some kind of standard engine block enamel. Pt2 brand, it's really good stuff. But I can't remember what actual company it's marketed as. It might be a Chevy red or a Holden red or something like that. It's not quite the same as the red on this car, but it's good enough. Looks a lot better than oxidised aluminum. And I've still got tons more bits to put in there. Got to do spark plugs once the rocker cover's back on. Yeah. And I'm waiting for the engine mount to come in as well. That's got to come from New South Wales, so the engine mount and the pulleys and things won't be until a couple of days' time, like Wednesday, Thursday at least. So it's all good. Okay, well that's better. Probably should have bought a new seal kit for it, but I wanted to get this back on. There's dirt and crap flying around everywhere. As you just saw, there's bits of ash and stuff from the fireplace over there getting caught by the wind. So I had to get this back on. I glued the old gasket in, and the spark plug tube seals should hold in there. Now if you're wondering how to get the plugs out after you loosened them, bit of old auto cooler hose. There we go. They're not all that old. Looks like they used copper anti-seize on them. I mean, if they're in and out fairly frequently, that's not a bad thing, but as Brad's showed me, it tends to bake and dry out and just add to the whole seizing issue when you leave it too long. Like in the case of the Ford EB, I can't get those plugs out at all without destroying the head. So as a result, we're going to have to do the head in the next couple of months. But yeah, these plugs, they're a bit old, but they've probably done when they did the dizzy cap and the rotor. I'll put new ones in anyway. Yeah, they're acceptable. A little sooty from short runs, but that's about it. I'm going to take this for a good run once it's all finished service. And the ones I'm using are, they're not Bosch, they're NGK resisted plugs, BKR5E11. And they look very similar. Yeah, that's the code there. That's what Repco puts on their computers for Nissan Micra, and they look exactly like the ones that are going to go in. So yeah, that's alright. Okay, well, the dizzy cap and leads would have been done maybe 1 or 2 services ago. I just gave them the contacts a quick just clean up with a bit of sandpaper, just getting the oxide off them. They do oxidise, you do get a white flaky coating coming off them. So there was a very light coating on these, so I just cleaned it. Cleaned the rotor button, which looks a little bit older. Had a bit more build up on it, but still, this stuff's fairly new. Not worth trying to replace anyway. It's an OEM cap by Hitachi, so that's good. This thing never had a problem running. If anything, it's just valve stem seals maybe. Not sure about valve lash, but I know what it takes to do these, and they're a pain in the ass. Not really set up to do it at the moment, so that's all stuck down and staying that way until I have to. Yeah, I just put the dizzy cap back on and go from there. You can even see the little carbon brush in the centre is barely worn. That contacts that little metal pad on top of the rotor button. Give that a little bit of a clean and that'll be it. After that, well, I'll get in there, do the air filter, clean the throttle body. I'm not going to have the parts for the front of the engine for a couple of days, so that'll probably be it for today. After that, I'll just go around, give everything a general tidy up. Could use a new overflow bottle, coolant. The top of it's degraded and gone. It's just cracked and perished. If I poke at it, it'll just collapse. So it's probably one thing I need to replace. Otherwise, yeah, overall, not a bad thing. Okay, we're going into the airbox now. That's the old Element. Quite had it. I mean, it still have a little bit more life left in it, but you can see where it's been propped up by what looks like a foam block in the crankcase breather. There's no outlet in there, so that's supposed to connect up to there, which I will when I reinstall it. But it's been propping this Element up, and you can see all these bugs and things have been getting past. It's all sitting on top of the screen to the mass airflow meter, so that's not good. I'm going to get the shop vac out, suck all that stuff up, dig that out carefully. What's left of what looks like foam. I don't know, it's like felt. Yeah, there's the breather down there, and it's got this little felt block, so I'll give that a nice wash. Yuck, nasty. I don't even know why that's there. Why is that there? I'm guessing it's just a restrictor. Maybe also to soak up a little bit of excess oil. There's probably no point to that. Oh, I'll clean it and reuse it. But yeah, this whole box is coming off. Same with the intake tubes, which that doesn't seem to do anything. That one goes down there. What the hell is that for? Some kind of chamber, resonance chamber. It's sealed. I don't know. Probably goes through there though. It's probably a resonance chamber. Okay, well this is going to be fun. The throttle body doesn't unbolt from the MAF meter. It is the MAF meter. There's the centre axis of the spindle, and there's the mass airflow meter, which is a hot wire type. So I can't even just spray bloody carby cleaner down it. Bugger it. I might even just adjust the base idle up a little bit. Mind you, there's 4 screws and the vacuum hose. Got to undo all of that, which is the injection harness. Undo TPS and MAF meter. Might just be able to lift the whole lot off. It's not too hard. Screw it. We'll try and pull the whole lot apart. That looks like IAC solenoid, or stepper, or whatever it is, a stepping motor. Yeah, that'll be IAC. That's the mass airflow readout. Throttle position sensor. Throttle cable, which definitely needs some adjustment. That's loose as hell. Same with the clutch cable. There's about that much travel in the clutch, which does absolutely nothing. It's annoying as hell. And it's a cable operated clutch too. That's it there. So I've got to adjust the clutch cable. But first I want to get that thing clean. I want to know what's going on inside that body, especially since it's had dust getting into it. That little felt block has been propping the air cleaner up and letting stuff past. Probably doesn't even need that. I honestly don't know why that's there, but because I don't know, it's going to go back in for the time being. If anyone knows what it's for or whether it's critical to have it there, let me know. I'll be happy to delete it. It doesn't seem like something necessary, so I'll be more than happy to delete it. Okay, well, this little lump of steampunk nonsense is the throttle body and MAF meter assembly off the Micra. And I'm glad I took it off because that looks nasty as hell. That's really bad. Likewise, the coolant passages are good. Like, this thing's always had good coolant in it. There's no corrosion inside. A little bit on the outside of that barb where air has been getting to it. Now, they do have those nasty little spring clips on them. But yeah, I'm going to carefully clean this without damaging the mass airflow meter. That's the fun part, because it's all one piece. Made by Unisa Jex, something like that. It's hard to tell what that says. Yeah, one piece assembly. Interesting. Not entirely sure what that's supposed to do, but then it looks like, since it's coolant controlled, it's probably a thermostatic valve. Oh wait, that'd be a choke. Yeah, there's no choke butterfly down there, just the MAF hot wire assembly, but it probably adds a little bit of extra fuel when the engine's cold. As soon as hot water comes through here, that must lift up as a thermostatic valve and push up and close off the fuel supply. So it'll just dribble a little bit of extra fuel in there. Yeah, auto choke, that's what that is. And that'd definitely be idle air control. You can see it goes from one side of the butterfly to the other. Yeah, not too hard. Just got to very carefully clean it. I'll find a clean rag and some carby cleaner and just wipe all the muck out from around the butterfly valve, and that should be it. Maybe clean up inside there with a Q-tip, but even then it's not too bad. What's it like inside there? Yeah, it's only just past the butterfly where there's a lot of crankcase gases and dust, oil, that sort of stuff joining each other and creating a nasty mess. Likewise, the very bottom of the manifold, there's a bit of sump oil from the crankcase breather. I'm just going to leave it there. Hell, if any dirt falls through here, it's just going to get stuck in the oil and stay there in a pool in the very bottom of the manifold. So I'm not going to disturb that, it can just stay there. It's like a wet oil filter. Yeah, that's what's inside there. It's not much, but is it just a slight amount of oil, and I can see little bits of stuff stuck in it. It'd be tempting just to suck it out with a vacuum vessel, but I don't know, I think I'll just leave it there. It's not doing any harm. It's only just going to make sure this gasket seals properly again. It's a bit oil affected, but it's still okay. The body wasn't stuck down to it, so can't really do much about that. But overall it's not bad. The injectors are all part of the rail on this one, rather than having independent injectors. The whole lot will come off as an assembly if I have to change them, but these have been pretty good. There's a vacuum line going in there, vacuum line to the back of the throttle body, 2 coolant hoses which are a bit old. I'll probably end up replacing some of that. Now I'll see how we go. We don't want to dig too much further into this car, or I'll just end up costing more money. Not that it hasn't cost much as it is, it's pretty cheap. But yeah. Okay, we're looking a lot better now. I don't know why there's lead dribbled over the butterfly, but it's there and it's staying there. And again, it's nice and clean down there. Clean the edges of the butterfly as well as its contact surfaces, passages and things. The hot wire in the MAF meter looks fairly robust. It's a flat strip by the looks of it, but I wouldn't subject it to any kind of cleaning though. I'd be very careful of that sort of stuff. The hot wire MAF on the Festiva has a coil. It looks like a filament from a light bulb, and if you cover that in carby cleaner or oil or other shit and then start it up, often enough it'll just burn up or it won't read properly. Some of them do go through a burnout cycle just to clean them. They run a bit of current through it after you turn the car off and just burn any crap off them. But even then, that'd be fairly detrimental if it's covered in oil and shit. It'd just oxidise and damage the filament. So you're really best to just keep your MAF meter completely free from any kind of cleaning solvents. You can see it up in there. Not a bad little jigger, it's just a bit of a pain to have to take the whole lot off to clean it. It'd be nice if the MAF meter was mounted remotely, or mounted remotely. Good job, brain. Anyway, I better put this back on. I was going to use some Loctite. It's the code for it. It's a non-hard setting gasket making cement. Like that one, but I got a new bottle. Yeah, number 3 non-hardening, or yeah, that's number 3. That's the one that leaked everywhere. Got a few bottles of this stuff. It's nasty stuff, but it's very effective. So I'll probably put some number 3 on it and glue it back down on top of the existing gasket, which seems to be permanently bonded to the inlet manifold anyway. So that's all good. Oh, that's better. All clean, all back together again. Likewise, a new air filter helps. Especially this one's reinforced. This one here is just a piece of crap. I don't even know who made that. There's no maker marks on it. This one's a Ryco, which is one of the best you can really get as far as I'm concerned, apart from OEM. Very good stuff. And that will go in there like that. You know, I should really paint the airbox cover red. While I'm on a roll. Not much else to do at the moment. The rest of it's done. Since I got some of this for polypropylene and polyethylene, well, who knows? Let's see what we get up to tonight. And of course, dispose of your waste properly. Alright, well I put the old engine mount back on for the time being. I figure I'll do the oil change before I make a mess on the ground dumping coolant. And there's a sump plug, not too hard to get to. Manual transmission, I'll probably end up changing the oil in that as well because it's just a bit reluctant to go into gear when it's cold. So I'll probably run a slightly lighter or even just new oil, make a bit of a difference. But overall it's not too bad down here. Those CV shafts are all new, the tie rod ends are new. Those little bushings and things on the suspension arms aren't, so they'll have to be done. I don't think the ball joints are. They're lower ball joints, so they may have to be done. Sway bar D-bushes definitely aren't. You can see that thick sway bar running across the underside of the car. Well, the bushes on that will probably have to be done. They're not hard. Yeah, they're fairly cheap too. But first up I'm just doing engine and mechanical stuff, then I'll take it to the local tyre power shop and get them to give it the once over as far as suspension's concerned. I know it needs brakes on the front, I'm going to do that anyway, I've got them in stock. So I just want to know what the suspension's like. Let's take the oil filter off. Not so easy from up here because you don't have any room to do it, so you know what we're going to do? We'll get underneath there. Like my little drop mat from LG Chemical Korea. I'll have to get some more from work. I'll get some from LG or Samsung. PVC compounds, natural butyl rubber compounds. Well, there's our sump plug. It's only just in there at the moment, just so it doesn't leak on me. Some kind of balance weight for the CV shaft there, and there's the oil filter. Let's hope they put this on properly, as in they lubed the seal and then did it up hand tight. Oh, this is not going to be easy. Camera can stay there. It's moving. Ah, yes. I don't want to get a face full of oil, but that's loose now. Oh, I love it when people actually lubricate the seals before they put them on, and they don't try and use a strap wrench to tighten them. You don't need to do that. You just have to do it on hand tight and make sure you oil the damn seal before you do it. Otherwise, I'd probably be under here for 20 minutes swearing and carrying on, trying to get that damn thing off. I'd probably end up having to punch a screwdriver through it and rip it apart, and oh god, if it didn't come off then yeah. I'd be finding out whoever did that filter and then just taking the remains of the filter and jamming it up their arse, because you got to be very careful about how you put oil filters on, because it's a good way to piss off the mechanic who has to work on it the next time. It's an interesting look from under here, but yes. Yeah, D-bushers, got to do them. Got to check the ball joints and things, do the front tyres. Rack boots look good. There's not much room under here, but there are fuel and whatever lines, lots of them. Oh, probably fuel out, fuel return, fuel vapor, and I don't know what the other ones are for. Oh, probably brake lines. Those two will be brake lines. Those three will be fuel out, fuel return, and fuel vapor. If you can see that actually. Yeah, two fuel liquid lines, vapor line, and those two there'll be brake lines. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, D-bushers D-bushers don't look too bad, but this car just gets a bit of a shimmy going at a certain speed. Even that thing there, which is part of the suspension. Oh no, what's that? That's part of a transmission mount. That goes to the back of the transmission case. But either way, it's all tied into the chassis up in there. I can't even see where that goes. Well, that was fun. At least I know the oil filter's going to come off. And it's leaking on me. Wonderful, my jacket's covered in oil. Oh well. There's a condenser fan and receiver dryer. The air conditioning. The front engine mounts. Probably just as flogged as the rest, but I'll do them next time. It's easier to get to them down here. Actually really easy. Where's the other one? Oh, there it is. There's the other engine mount. It's probably equally torn. Oh, you can't see anything. The camera's lost zoom. Oh well. Get out of here before I get covered in oil again. Oh, I already am. Oh, you gotta love working under cars. Okay, well the filter's different looking, but technically the surface area on the block is actually the same size, if not slightly larger than this seal. So this one's, if anything, it's a little bit too small. That's the old one that came off it, which is a Z442. The Z422 fits better and seems to have more filtration material in it anyway, so I'm going to run with that, lube it up, spin it on, and yeah, I'll pre-fill about halfway, just so when I do get it in there it doesn't run out all over the block and ground again. But yeah, it does look different. It is physically different, but seal wise the surface area is pretty much the same. That's that one there. Yeah, but the block material's out here. Like the face that's machined on the block is fairly big. You could almost spin a Z9 on there if there was enough room to actually get the length of this filter on there, but we'll stick with a smaller one. These ones will build oil pressure faster, that's about it. But it's yuck. Well overdue.